How you doing today? It's 12/5/2021. Let's get to our three stocks of the day. First one out of the gate is Target. Target has been looking pretty good. It's held up fairly well since earnings. It's come down a little bit, but that's okay. The numbers were good at earnings, and it's only come down just $15. Not even 10%. So that gives you a great buying opportunity to come back in. What we can do is chart this out a little bit. The chart is down below. Just go ahead and click that link and download it for nothing. And I have it figured up for you already to where you just got to put in minimal information that you can draw from Thinkorswim and just fill in this basic information and it will calculate everything out for you. This is similar to keeping track of your notes of why you did trades and things like that. I look back at charts all the time. Why did I do certain trades? What was my reasoning? And so I go back and look, and I can see if I made a good trade or if I went too big, or this chart will tell you if you want to go half size, quarter size, whatever you want to do. It calculates it out for you very simply, so you can knock these charts out in like 2 minutes, and that's really all it takes is about 2 minutes. So you can do it if you're an active trader during the day. You can just take 2 minutes and do your chart, and if it's a buy, it's a buy. If it's not, it's not. It's not going to change that much in 2 minutes. So anyway, let me minimize this. You guys can fill out this on your own easily. It's really plain, and I'll show you where I get some of the information. Anyway, so Target you can kind of see and use for your support right here. And if you want to come down and use another support, you got to have at least a couple bars in place. You can't just take one on 1% or something. You got to give yourself a little room to breathe. But this one is pretty good support here. I got 3 bars going here, almost a fourth one here, and then I got some resistance up here. So I can draw my first resistance here. And then the way I pick up targets is I basically pull up on the news. I look at all the recent since earnings. The recent analysts, they look at these things much more closer than I do. I just read a chart. They're looking at fundamentals. I do zero with fundamentals. Zero. I trade a chart. If the fundamentals are good, the chart's going to do it. All right, so I usually throw out the high and the low because there's always one analyst that loves the stock and one that hates it. So I throw out the high and the low and pretty much get the middle of the road. And this one you can kind of just go 290-ish, maybe 300 in that range, and use that as your target. And so that will obviously go back onto the target for here. And this is the Disney one, but you can fill it in for target. And just work the numbers. Okay, so this thing's going to head up here somewhere eventually. Just go in with a little piece. It's pretty volatile right now, so maybe you just want to go in a half position or even a third position. It's not necessary that you go in full right from the get-go. So anyway, second stock we can do tonight is Disney. Disney has been brutally beat down. I mean, I don't know why it's been beat down. The earnings were actually pretty decent, but I don't know why it's been beat down so hard. But you can see it's starting to come up a little bit. The volume is just heavy coming down, so hopefully it's buyers coming back in too. The TTM squeeze is just starting to come back up. I always like to wait for 2 yellows to come back in just to give a confirmation, but the RSI is starting to curl up, and this target is still, it's like 205, I think, or at least 200, about in that range where this thing will end up. It does have a little challenge with the COVID coming in, so it seems like the COVID is mild, but until FDA or CDC comes out and says that it's going to be mild, and that maybe Merck or whoever, Pfizer, that comes out with their possible vaccine in 100 days, there's a lot of play with Disney, as far as fans. And then, of course, it's always winter time, too. So this may take a little while. So I may do, quarter to a third size. Just let it play out until I start getting confirmation. But it's well beat down. It's ready to go. Third stock of this up is Delta. Delta is obviously one of the big 3 airlines. Airlines are been beaten down badly in the last couple months here. And so... But what it looks like to me here is we got a nice base forming. We're almost 2 SDs down, just between 1 SD here. And so last week it really didn't do too bad in the really turmoil market of last week. As far as volume, we're doing pretty good. I do like to see 2 yellow TTM bars. That confirms there's interest going into the stock. RSI is okay because we have a lot of room to go up to get up to 70 or even higher. I kind of like it 70 to 80 before I even start getting concerned about it. I'd rather have it higher than 50, but this is a good place to start. It's been well sold off. So you can kind of draw your resistance on the chart at about here. I always get 2 bars in, even at the bottom of the tail at 33.75, call it. You can add a resistance point here at 38, and it will definitely go up here to find resistance here about 45, 46. The price targets are way up on these guys. It's about 55, 54. I think if you throw out the high and the low analyst targets, you get in that 54, 55 range. And so you can use that as your price target on the chart below, and just go from there with your numbers. It's very simple. This is a very simple chart to do. You can come into your Analyze tab, and then it'd be on Fundamentals. You scroll down, and you can get your PE ratios here. And right now, the PEs are going to be horrible for the airlines. I mean, because just they are staying afloat. I know they're gaining cash on hand like crazy. It's just the numbers just aren't working right now, which is not that uncommon right now still this year, to see a lot of companies with PEs that are just completely wacko, and it's like something you wouldn't even want to get involved with. But I put them on the chart anyway just to give you extra confirmation. It's a lot of things are just extra confirmation of a trade. The more pluses you got, right, the more chances, the bigger edge you got. And that's what it's all about. What's my edge in this trade? And so this is one I definitely like to keep an eye on right now. This week, I think it may pop up. It shows some life along with JetBlue. So we'll just see where they go. But this is my chart I wanted to pick for this coming week, and let's see where it goes. COVID may keep it down a little bit, so maybe just do a quarter, or maybe even a third of what you would normally invest, and let's go with it from that. Today, that's your 3 stocks. There should be some good charts setting up for this week after that volatile week last week of selling. Maybe a little more selling tomorrow as they want to lock in some gains and then start buying up again for the Christmas run. Retails didn't look that bad, but they did sell down. So maybe we'll see Signet Jewelers or Target or something along those lines in the next day or so. I'll be charting those. If you do have a particular ticker, then please put it in the messages, and I'll see if I can take a look at charting one of those. If you like what you see, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll get those algos working so I can keep doing this for everybody's education. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.